I wonder what is the difference between smuggling or trading an egg. In both cases, the physical aspect of the egg remains the same: white, fragile, delicious, and containing a potential of life. One way or another, the egg will be fried sunny side up, or a small chick will hatch up from the shell. The egg actually is a really convenient way how to smuggle a living entity over the border. It fits perfectly into my pocket.
From a curatorial point of view, both smuggling and trading are actions that could be related to those that are coming to the gallery. On one hand, the gallery and the curator is constantly trading ideas with the artists they are working with, and moreover, um, between art and society, this gallery can also become, or can also be related to the act of smuggling in two ways. Firstly, it allows the artists who they are working with to smuggle in often alien or even common ideas into new domains or into new public spheres. But at the same time, the gallery also works closely together with the curator, which brings in a certain danger, because if the gallery is not careful, or let's say in worst case scenario, the curator could actually use these artistic practices and use the gallery as a way to smuggle in his own ideas, at which point the represented art or the represented artistic practices only become a mere vessel for the ideas of the curator. In this sense, it's perhaps not about when one becomes the other, but rather about finding the right balance in between both smuggling and trading, and finding the perfect symbiosis between the artist, the curator, and gallery, and their respective actions.
The obvious difference is that what a smuggler does is illegal, while a trader sticks to the law. I think when you're talking about trading, it's always an economical fact. It's kind of morally or ethically neutral. Smuggling is a concept far more loaded than trading. It's illegal, but doesn't have to be morally wrong when it's about surviving. It could also be seen as quite noble when you think about the smuggling of people, bringing people to where they want to be. Just to be clear, I don't think that most actual smugglers are noble, but theoretically they could be to me.
The artistic practice is mostly about borders, and borders not as definite lines, but as fields, areas or territories that you can actually dwell into, think about and create. I understand borders as thresholds that new notions and practices can emerge and fit the center. So in a way, to know your border is to know who you are or who you were, and by being able to redefine this border, you can actually change yourself and be what you want to be.
For me, mental borders are a bigger obstacle. Tiny thoughts that pop into my brain like, what makes you the right person to do this? Are you good enough? Know about it before you speak about it. You gotta earn the right, Pally. Learn, study, practice, be better, be the best. I think those borders for me are the ones hardest to cross. They can kind of numb me when I fail to put things into perspective. And let's just ignore the fact that I talk to my brain and my brain to me as if we were a separate person.
My work ignores the borders, it reaches far beyond them. My interest is to cover the humanity as a whole. That is one of the reasons why I'm borrowing certain aspects and structures of graphic statistics, or so-called infograms. One of its purposes is to cover the society as a whole, allow one to compare and contrast social observations, and, as a result, make it possible to draw conclusions and make predictions. So basically, by designing these wall-based sculptures, which also mark the cartographic contours, they serve as a local phenomenology derived from a global social structure.
For me, every institution or place has borders. I don't believe you can get rid of them, or that you should have to. But you can and should see beyond them. If they are acknowledged as borders, as limitations of unity, they can be quite interesting. KIOSK invites artists from all over the world, from very different origins, to exhibit in the exact same space. The space proves to us that just because there are borders, it doesn't mean we can't bring in foreign influences. Borders are meant to make a distinction between what's on one side and what's on the other. But who says that those distinctions can't be blurred?
I cannot speak about KIOSK actually, but I can speak about KASK and the way I relate my recent artistic work with it, because I'm actually working on exclusions in art education. So how you actually define what KASK is, or art education is, by understanding what it excludes. And by this, as I said before, by this you can actually change what it is and redefine it.
If you ask me how I would define the borders within the institution, I would say that the walls of the space is the shell, artwork is the yolk, the society is the glare, and it all results in a potential habitat.